Here's another 3rd and long. And you know, on this drive, once again, they took a sack on first down. It was only a 2-yard loss. But this led to almost the same play that we saw to Davis a few plays ago. Dagger concept. Josh leaves the pocket. I mean, right here. What are you doing? What are you doing? This guy didn't leave the post. Why are you throwing it to the post to Hardy? Why are you doing that when you can run it? And maybe that guy makes contact before the marker, first down marker, but I will put my money on Josh in this situation that he's going to get the first down versus this safety. Instead, throws it deep, and it's an arm punt here basically, which wasn't a horrible thing in the grand scheme of things, but another one of those plays where like this is a decision-making thing. This is a decision-making issue here on this play, Anthony. And just it's hard. You can't defend this. You can't defend this when you have all this green to run and get the first down, and you decide to pull up and throw it to the post with the post safety there the entire play. And maybe you don't throw it to Hardy, but maybe you try to feather it to Dawson Knox, who's winning versus CJ Mosley down the field. He basically made the only wrong decision on this play. And he did it. But again, in the grand scheme, this was, of all the turnovers, this one was the one I had the least issue with, but it's still a bad decision.
Yes. From a result standpoint, given, where we were in the game at this point and what it kind of led to, like you said, like it ends up becoming like an arm punt, I wasn't completely upset with it. But then when I saw it back on the all 22, I just started to get frustrated. And it starts with him evading the pocket. I felt like he could have sat there a little bit. I think he sees, so John Franklin Myers ends up going up against Connor McGovern. And I think he sees, so he's the third man from the inside next to Quinnen Williams. I think, exactly right there. Once he gets inside of McGovern here, you'll see it as you start to go forward. I think he sees that flash of color, and it's almost, he's like, screw it, I'm out. And he evades when he really didn't need to, because JFM doesn't get through because he ends up running in some trash with Dawkins. But okay, you think he's going to get through. Maybe, you don't have the most faith in the offensive line, so you're going to get outside the pocket and make a play. What really drives me nuts is, and again, Tony Adams is spinning down. I think that's a high percentage chance of success. Josh Allen in the open field against Tony Adams with 8 yards of grass, or maybe 9 or 10 because he's a little behind the line, for him to try and get the first down. And you don't run it here if you're Josh Allen. You choose not to run and go up against Tony Adams, but later you're trying to like run through linebackers when you don't need to and hurdle multiple linebackers in the middle of the field. And instead of going out of bounds, trying to drop the shoulder. So like then you want to run and get physical. But in this instance where it can be kind of efficient, you choose not to. And then even if you want to get, Eric, your other point, like a little risky, try and hit Knox down the field. He's got several steps on CJ Mosley. He is legitimately open there. Like, it's not to make the same joke again, but there was a multitude of right decisions that he could still make, all varying from like high, different percentages in terms of chance of success. He made the least likely play that had like the lowest odds of success, and he made like the most wrong decision or the least right one. And again, during the game, I was kind of like, arm punt, whatever. Watching it back on the all 22, I'm still flustered like about it. I don't want to show like emotion with it, but I'm annoyed like watching it. It's just stupid.
Anthony, I'm with you. Same exact reaction. Broadcast during the game, okay, what, not great, but whatever. But when you watch on the all 22, you're like, WTF, buddy? Like, and the worst part, it's a half field, basically a half field read to the other side too. So he kind of almost screws himself on that as well. But when you keep stopping it, Eric, you could just show that picture to everyone when he's about to throw it and say, guess who he's throwing to? And like nobody would guess the guy that he is throwing to.
Right.
Like you would never in a million years guess it. And in your point, Andy, about when he's choosing to run and not run, great. Why is he? This is his wheelhouse. Trucking defensive backs. Like, he guy lives for he goes back in bounds to throw a shoulder at these little guys.
Yeah.
But you guys. Oh, and one quick thing on this. 4 strong. I thought that was a little interesting. We saw that a little more than usual this game, where they had 4 receivers to quads basically when they
which is good. Again, from a game
Yes.
plan Dorsey perspective, that's good. You want to flood zones when you're seeing those too high looks, those the quarters coverages, the cover sixes. Like that's what you want to do. You want to flood zones. So yeah, I thought there were some good things when it came to that 4 strong. So 4 eligible receivers to one side of the formation. Again, Dorsey actually, he did some decent things in this game. A lot of the blame shouldn't be on him. I know a lot of fans want to say otherwise, but I think Dorsey, when we're talking blame percentage, I do think that his percentage is quite low in this game. A lot of the blame should go to Josh Allen and the offensive line when it comes to pressuring him. So here's a 2nd and long play, and this is the interception here to Diggs down the middle of the field on almost like a divide concept. He's running that Dino post. You're having Kincaid run a corner route. He's supposed to be going to the middle of the field. Diggs is against that too high coverage look. This is a play very similar to the Titans game last year that he scored on. I think it's also very similar to the Packers game where Diggs got down the middle of the field, on a post type route here. But unfortunately, Josh, he gets sped up a little bit because of Quinnen Williams beating Mitch Morse. But from the shoulders up, I don't think he was paying any attention to the backside corner on this play. The weak side corner right here, Whitehead, obviously had a big night, several interceptions. I don't think he saw him at all, John. Now, what are your thoughts on this play? Again, I like the call, but it just almost like, again, the game was speeding up on him. This backside route doesn't hold anyone. Whitehead gets on his horse, and he's able to get over the top and make that interception.
Yeah, I mean, just split field coverage like they've been running all game so far. 3 over 2, on the 2 slot guys, you man up 1, and then you're basically playing just basic cover 2 to the other side. That backside dig, like you said, is supposed to hold. It's supposed to hold that backside safety, and he could give 2 shits about that backside dig. I mean, he you just watch it. I mean, play it. I mean, he does not care about it whatsoever. And I agree, Eric. Williams gets in, he gets a little pressure, and there's that is not open. It's not even close to being open. Diggs interferes with the guy, swipes at it. At least if it's an underthrown ball, then you have the chance for pass interference, or you have a chance for a jump ball or anything like that. On both of the deep ball interceptions, the wide receiver they don't even get a hand to the ball.
Right.
So again, that's not, it doesn't affect the decision making and stuff. It's just another thing where if you are going to throw it deep, you got to give your receiver a chance to get the ball. And then obviously, I noticed Williams was smart here. He went to the man side, so there was no help. So the guard couldn't help Morse there. I thought that was really, because
they did that a bunch too. They did that a bunch to Morse. Morse didn't have a good game. I will say, like, he didn't have a good game, and a lot of times that's what the defensive tackles were doing. They were just slanting inside, coming right down the barrel, right down Broadway, and just bull rushing him, push pulling him. He had trouble anchoring at times. It was rough. And again, that plays into this, and it sped up Josh's processing. But Anthony, go ahead and give us your thoughts on this play, man. It's rough to see because, again, it's almost like he didn't pay any attention to that guy. And maybe, we don't know, maybe Sherfield ran the route at the correct depth. Well, if that's true, then this is on Dorsey, because this guy should be getting deeper than that. Because like John said, he's got to hold that guy to keep that middle of the field open and keep it honest so that Diggs can get there, like we saw several times last year.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway with it, other than, again, Quinnen Williams is a monster. Like, and I love the piece from John there, like him, slanting it to the man side of the protection so we can get the one-on-one with Morse and then just rip right through him. Unfortunately for Morse, I just have a lot of questions. Like, it makes me think to what the first interception in the first game against the Jets last year in the red zone, where he just throws it, I forget right to who, and it's just like, well, he must not have seen him. And I'm thinking on this one too.
Was it Whitehead?
I think it might have actually been Whitehead.
Right?
I think, maybe before he changed his number, like, and I think it was Whitehead. Yeah, to that. Yeah, when he was like looking to flip it to Knox, and I think he just threw it right to Whitehead. I don't know if, like, did he think or assume that, that backside route was going to hold that safety. So that's why he chucks it here. Cause that's all this is. Like, this is just a spray and pray type of throw. He just chucks this up thinking like it's like one of those memes, like Stephon Diggs down there somewhere and just like chucks it up. And if Whitehead isn't there, there's actually a chance like maybe Diggs is able to like make a miraculous catch, or it's probably incomplete because it's too far for him. But he throws this almost right to Whitehead because he's not held down. And then, yeah, like to the point, like, is it on Dorsey? Is it on Sherfield? Because you can see initially, like, when Sherfield is running his route, when he's still in his stem, you can see Whitehead is kind of flat-footed, like he's sitting there waiting. And then once Sherfield makes his break, that's when Whitehead decides, oh, okay, cool, like I'm out, I'm driving back. And he's also kind of he's also eyeballing Allen, who is just staring down, from, we talked about earlier on the first clip, right? The body language that was signaling to the corner route on the smash route. DJ Reed continues to, or on the smash concept, DJ Reed keeps sinking. So Allen hits knocks underneath on the flat. This time it's the opposite. Like, your body language indicates you're going to a guy, you stay on that guy, you couple it with the pressure. I just had like a lot of questions. I still have a lot of questions because it was just a lot of bad on this play from a decision standpoint, the route standpoint, and just how it all went down.
Right.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry, Eric. I was going to say one very quick thing about reading it as a quarterback too. When you're reading from left to right there, your eyes do not get to the backside until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that, there are some concepts that when you can read it when you can read when guys are coming into your vision, it can be, you'll see the defenders easier versus when you're reading it from what looked like sideline to middle. Your eyes don't get to the backside is easy. Just a quick point there.
No, that's a good footnote. Speaking of those negatives, remember that smash concept we analyzed a couple times already in this film breakdown? Well, we see it again. This time a third down. It's pretty much the same play to the top of the screen. Josh stares it down, and Whitehead gets another interception. It just, again, and you watch the corner to the top. He kind of comes down like he's going to break onto Dalton Kincaid, right? Sauce is going to break on that flat route. So Josh was like, you know what? I'm going to throw it deep. But Whitehead was watching him the entire time. He was able to undercut it. Ball did kind of sail inside a little bit. Maybe if they're going to have a shot at this, he's got to throw it to the sideline, probably high up and over Sauce, who's the corner here.
Which is a hard throw.
That's a hard throw. It's a hard throw. We saw it last year to Quentin Morris. Was it to Quentin Morris or Dawson Knox against the Lions?
Yes, against Detroit. That's not again Knox. That was one of my favorites. Yep, one of my favorite throws of the year.
He's done it. Don't get me wrong. He's done it. He's done it against the Lions. He's done it against the Dolphins on a couple of times when they're running some of those creeper pressures. He can do it. But this is one of those plays again. Okay, maybe you're not throwing it to Kincaid. You shouldn't be throwing it to Davis. Fine. Well, you're getting the third guy in that triangle. John referenced it earlier. You're getting that third guy in Diggs. Just get it to him. And he's matched up versus Mosley. Get it out in front, and he can run and get upfield. Like this one was terrible because, again, you started to see some things from Josh, and the negatives just didn't go away. He wasn't able to reset and reframe his mind here, and Whitehead gets another interception.
And also, you would like at this point too, like this is the third time, like you've ran this concept. Like you would think that eventually, like, they're going to start to key in a little bit if you're Allen. So kind of just take what's given. I love the point though with Sauce, and this is the piece that I had mentioned earlier in the episode. Like as we've gone through with this concept, you've seen it get played different each time. DJ Reed, the first time really sank underneath Kincaid. The second time was Sauce. He still sank a little more, was even with that corner route. Allen didn't hit the flat. This one, he kind of like half plays it. Like, will I or won't I come up on the flat? But still, Allen, he times it. Like when he gets the ball, he hits the top of his drop. Boom, ball should be out. Fire it in right there to Dalton Kincaid. It's 3rd and 2. Fire it in. He gets 3 yards. Maybe again, with how Kincaid was running in this game with the ball after catch, maybe he trucks Sauce Gardner and runs through his chest. At minimum, you're getting 3 yards, 4 yards, something like that. Same thing with Diggs. Like I recognize the Diggs piece here. I'm not even considering it because the read is to the right. Like it's a basic high-low. Fire it in there. You're in rhythm with your drop. Fire it into Kincaid. Complete it. New set of downs. Let's move on. But even if you get it to Diggs, I think Mosley is tracking it decently, but still, Diggs probably gets 3 yards, 4 yards. Even if he just gets it and immediately turns up field, he at the very least falls forward 1 or 2 yards, and it's a first down. There's a multitude of just take what they're giving you options. And especially at this point in the game, you're trying to put this game away. You've started to make mistakes. You've started to compound errors one on top of the other. Take what they are giving you. You're in good position. Boom. Fire it in to Kincaid. There's no reason to press and put it onto Davis. And yeah, he's made that throw before and he's, pulled that rabbit out of his hat. And I understand him potentially thinking like, I can make this throw, but there's just no reason to. And especially in a game where you've been pressing too much, you need to have that self-awareness or someone needs to tell you. But again, it's hard to tell someone to kind of change their nature. And I think that's the bigger conversation. Like he's got to know within himself to be like, all right, cool. It's 3rd and 2. Let me complete this for 3rd down or for 3 yards and get a new set of downs and live to fight another day. And he presses and it kills him.
Yeah. This was a tough one. Third and 2, 2 yards. I believe that the Jets scored their only touchdown after this drive as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving the bad QB, Zach Wilson, a short field. Even if he throws this into the ground, you're punting, and they got to go 80 yards. At minimum, you don't like it, but it's the scorpion and the frog. The scorpion rides on the frog's back and then stings the frog. And what did you expect? I'm a scorpion. It's what I do. You just gotta a little bit. You just there's no like you guys said. There's no reason for it at all. It's not there. You don't need it. Throw it now, right where you have it stopped. Boom.
Yep. Even if you wait a little bit and you want to I didn't hit him right out of his break, and you can still lead Kincaid to the sideline and still fit this in better than you could fit it to Davis, John. Like exactly like you said, like there's no reason. Like why are you pressing right now?
The throw's bad too.
Yes.
Let's be honest. It's not a good throw. If this has to be farther towards the sideline.
Yep. It's up to the quarterback, right? It's up to the quarterback on these routes to either throw them to the corner or throw them flat to the boundary. This is really on Josh to really drop that pin, throw the ball to that spot, lead Davis to where he wants the ball. The ball's got to be, like I said, it's a tough throw from just inside the left hash. Don't get me wrong. It's a tough throw, but he wasn't able to execute it here. But it really is on him when it comes to the actual execution of that throw. And it's just a badly placed throw on top of, again, a questionable decision there when you have better options underneath.
How do you guys feel about Davis's route here?
I don't have a problem with the route here. If you go back and look at the multitude of smash concepts that they've run, this is how they've run it. There's no like little rocker step at the top into the corner. Kincaid ran it several times. You saw Davis run it a couple times. Like, I think that's just how they normally run it. I don't think there is supposed to be any type of manipulation of the stem on this play. So I don't have a problem with his route here. I know that kind of contradicts what Troy Aikman said, but again, when you look at the offense, and we talked about it with Sherfield's route there on the backside there, we assume that he's supposed to be deeper, but do we really know what they're teaching them? No. So I don't think, based on what we've seen in this film from all the smash concepts, because they ran it a lot, I didn't see any manipulation at the top of the route here on this smash concept.
I was going to say, like, I would like more like manipulation in the stem, but exactly to your point, Eric, like this is kind of how they run it. Maybe he rounds it a little bit more than is ideal even without any manipulation, and maybe he can kind of make it a little sharper. But either way, Whitehead has this keyed up. Like, he knows what's coming. Like, he is
got to be
playing
quick
it.
though, because look at the spacing of the corner and the safety. It's got to be quick. He can't push too much because that's just going to give him more time, and it's going to close that separation down.
True.
That's where I worry about that.
Yes, because then you can't get too flat, because then you're playing into sauce, and then it makes it an even harder throw for Allen. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right.
And again, Whitehead's angle to this, he's undercutting it like he knows. Like, it's just
seen this several times already.
Yes, it's just another. There's no reason to throw this. Son of a bitch.
No, I agree, man. It's a rough one, man.